All right, guys, welcome back. Here we are again with the Coleman. Let me just shut this fan off. Stand by, stand by. Shut down the shop. Okay, sorry about that. So here we are. I just wanted to go over a couple things. She is complete now. I might do a little finagling with the seat, so let's talk about that first. This will probably be one of the last things I do to her before I get crazy. But these little hooks, once I did the spring modification, this is custom. They do make a kit now for this, which, you know, if I would reverse the clock 3 years, I probably would buy it. But that's not the case. So these little hooks here, they barely like hang on. So I'll probably drill in the back of here and then just do 2 zip ties. I don't want to weaken the integrity of the front hooks, but when I sit on the back, sometimes this front pops up, but I can scoop it in there by hand. It's not really that much of a hassle, but if I had those metal zip ties in there, the seat would be fine. So the rack is on. That's been on for a while. No issues with that at all. This thing, you can sit on this. You can have a passenger on that. It's no problem. So we got the carb set up. I have a janky little spring here. So we'll talk about the carb and this admissions here that has to come off the head. I have that just zip tied to this stock bracket. I was originally going to cut it there. You can see the red line. But I'll probably just leave it. If anything, maybe I'll just cut off this end piece just to kind of clean it up a little bit. I'd like to eventually paint all that black. I cut the throttle cable, so I have that, just a cap on that with some JB weld. Got a new torch spark plug put in. I painted the head cap. I did the 18 valve springs. Super, super easy. If you guys are scared of doing that, it's no problem whatsoever. So don't be afraid to do that. So I have this return spring. So I'm not sure if I touched on it in the last video. So let's try to zoom in here. Right down here is where the throttle would open and it would close about here. So now that I put the spring on, this is the hole that this spring should be on. Sorry, let me focus. This little spring here for your throttle should be there, but I attached this spring to my intake to throw the throttle back. So now it snaps back like it should. So wide open and shut is just like that. So you really don't have to worry about this whole mechanism once you guys do the carb and intakes, you know, upgrade. So you really don't have to worry about this shit anymore. The throw and the screw and all that. So just make sure you're getting wide open till that throttle blade hits the back and then it snaps closed. So that's pretty much all I could say about the carb setup. We talked about the choke. This bracket's here to hold that down. Let's move on up. Stock gas tanks, stock internals, nothing crazy. What I did do, which took me a lot of time, was I did like a wire tuck on the bike where I eliminated the original headlight, which you could see is up there on the shelf. I put an LED on, so the original plug-in, I got rid of it with a little bit of magic. It's right here, actually. It's terminated right there. You're not going to use that anymore if you do an LED. So I have all this tucked up, and as you notice on my handlebars, there's no on-off switch. I bought these cool little switches off of Amazon. So that's on, that's off, and then the headlight. So what I did, and you could barely, like, you have to feel them. They barely have a throw on them, which is kind of cool. And they're flush when they're turned on. So I have the kill switch, because all you're doing is terminating the engine to ground. So when you press this in, you're just connecting the wires. I have my headlight ran to this, my DeWalt, the 20 volt battery. I originally was going to bolt this down, but it's hard to get the battery in and out. So I'm probably just going to do some Velcro there. That way I can unvelcro it, put the battery on, and slap it back down. That's all I got going on in there. I got my toolkit. These cool buttons that eliminates a lot of wiring. I'm surprised, you know, I guess people like the shit up here on the handlebars. It's easy to tell, but I mean, that looks so much better with the bike, in my opinion. So everything is going right up this rail, the LED from the headlight, and you can see I have full motion. You want to make sure of that when you're doing a headlight. This one's way better than the original, but it's not like, it's not crazy freaking bright. That's the company there, if you could read that. I think that might be a Tractor Supply LED, or who knows, maybe it's Walmart. You can even do a little bit better. I use the stock bracket here for the headlights. So there's probably a little bit of dialing in if you wanted to make this like a show bike or something. You know, who the hell's doing that? So I got the Pro Taper bars. They definitely give it a wider, more pushed up feel. They're more solid. They have this suspension bar, I guess you would call it, in the middle, and then a nice pad so you don't freaking whack your face off the handlebars. So that's probably the best bonus, is you're saving your teeth and your jaw or whatever from slamming into the handlebars. But I got the nice grips. I was in need of grips. My grips were pretty freaking bad. Man, but the bike is looking really cool. So the last thing is the exhaust. So what I did over here, let me just squeeze in here. And of course I did the pegs. So if you want to use the peg pin that comes with them, you will have to drill out your frame, but that's minor. You just throw a cotter pin in there. I didn't use those springs because they just didn't work correctly. It drove me nuts for like 3 days, and then I just took the springs out. So these just flop here. They feel really good. Haven't been out yet. I did pick up a really cheap, it's like $9. It's a magnetic oil cap. So it's got a magnet at the base. So if you got any shavings going around, hopefully it'll pick that up. But let's talk about the exhaust. You guys saw it before, but now it's installed permanently. So what I did was, you want to take this off, and the gasket that actually comes with this is completely round. So I took a marker, a little razor blade, and marked it. And then I took my Dremel, just gasket matched it, Dremeled it out just a little bit. It's nothing crazy, maybe like 10%, 5 to 10%. That way I got a nice clean exhaust coming out. So the next video, guys, is going to be this thing, a review of it after give and take $100. We're going to call it a $100 build with the upgrade. I do have a chain on the way, but that's a stock chain, because mine is, there's gears on it that don't even, you know, bend anymore. So I'm going to throw another chain on there just to bring it back up to speed so it doesn't blow out on me or something. And I definitely had some pitting here from sitting out in the weather. But I'm going to try to maybe sand that off. Maybe I'll leave it. Who the hell cares? But that's it, guys. This is the $100 build. I even, the bike was dropped and this was bent. So I even blacked out the brake lever. I got a new one for like $7. The throttle and everything is original. And you can get this to sit flush if you were to cut down your throttle a little bit. If you take off maybe like a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch on the tube, you could slide the grip in more, but it doesn't really bother me. So that's that. I think the coolest thing is the kill switch and the headlights. Of course, the headlights aren't working now because I don't have a battery in there, but it's cool. And you can see, I mean, it doesn't take up room at all. You could still put, you know, a drink in there or a sandwich or whatever if you're going for a cruise. And that's that, guys. This has been pretty fun for me to do in my off time. And we'll catch you on the next one. We'll see how it rides. And I think I made up my mind because I have a terrible back, as you guys probably know. I've had back surgery twice. So I think I'm going to go with the street tires on this. So maybe further, way down the line, we'll be throwing those Sun-F, the street tires on there. I don't think I'm going to do the mud tires because I'm not really romping in this thing. I'm just going for cruises with it. So she's blacked out. She's looking cool. And we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Thanks for sticking around.